ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 29.
Pair of panties. That's what we eat. Would you be quiet, Rosie?
Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are number one. We just grabbed every key demographic. Super duper. That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang.
Yes.
Boy.
It is the second day of April 2024. Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show. My name is Chris Hockey, and here we are. You made it through April Fool's Day, hopefully with no bruises or scars or lasting feuds. Big show today. Marty Galarnar. We've got Mark Rosen coming in. No Meat Sauce Spaghetti's gone all week, but we'll, of course, have Maxo and Zaxo and so much more. I don't know about Johnny Bones. I can't remember if he's coming in or not. We'll find out, though, won't we? Momentarily. Let's do this together. Here's some comedy from Steve Martin. By the way, the two-part documentary, Steve Martin, a documentary, is on Apple TV now. I'm looking forward to seeing that myself. Here's a little comedy from back in the old days. He was a wild and crazy guy. It's Power Trip Morning Show. Now, listen, I know it's Tuesday. I got the Tuesday tires, too, but here's the thing. Come on in. We're going to wake you up the best we can. And I am glad you are here.
But I am into the intellectual thing. I went to college. I studied the great philosophers, Socrates. I studied Plato. And, you learn the important things. Like if you're studying geology, which is all facts, as soon as you get out of school, you forget it all, because it's just numbers and things. But philosophy, you remember just enough to screw you up for the rest of your life. Then you studied the important, like ethical questions. Is it okay to yell movie in a crowded firehouse? Religious questions. If there is a God, give me a sign. See, I told you that the... Wouldn't it be weird if you died and you woke up and you were in heaven, just like they always told you? And everybody had wings on and pearly gates. Wouldn't you feel stupid? Oh, no. You mean that this is what... Oh. What? You've been keeping records on me? Well, it wasn't so bad. How many times did I take the Lord's name in vain? 1,000,006. Oh. Jesus Christ.
Chris, I've never seen a Steve Martin stand-up.
That's so funny you say that. I was just talking to Zacho about the fact that he should watch the new documentary.
I love Steve Martin, but I just never got into his stand-up because his stand-up era was really before my time. Dude, I fell in love with his movies, but not his stand-up.
Right. It was when I was very, very young. I believe Wild and Crazy Guy and all that stuff was like 77, 78, 79 right in there.
Yeah.
So that's not a shock that you've never seen that. And we had the... I think it was Wild and Crazy Guy. I forget which record it was, the live album where he did King Tut. Mm-hmm. And I was a little kid and just loved the idea of King Tut. I didn't know what the hell it was about or anything like that, but I knew all the words to it. But I was telling Zacho that it's a fascinating thing because he got so big, and we've talked about this with other comedians before, but he did comedy and he got so big that he was playing stadiums. He was outselling Fleetwood Mac at the time, right? Like his albums were outselling Fleetwood Mac, and his tours were outselling Fleetwood Mac, who was the biggest touring music band at the time. But he said he had to quit because he would walk out on stage and people would laugh when he walked out on stage. So he wasn't even sure he was funny anymore. He had no idea how to gauge whether or not he was funny.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is.
I'd love to walk out on stage to thunderous applause for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and then question whether or not I'm doing something right.
Yeah, right.
I guess that's kind of what we do here.
Yeah. How'd you feel on Thursday?
You son of a bitch. No, it's, maybe I should go back. I definitely, I feel like I should watch that documentary too. You said it's on Apple?
Yeah, it's 2-part documentary. I've read 2 other things with people that had similar situations. Eddie Murphy, same thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he was a freaking rock star.
Yeah, and he had to stop doing stand-up. And there's one other, but it was in my brain and then it was gone. Where you don't even know anymore. Oh, no, you know who I was thinking about is Jim Carrey. Similar but different in that Jim Carrey realized that his entire act was based on impressions. He was the best maybe ever, if you've ever seen his early comedy. And then he said, I have to do comedy or I'm never going to get anywhere. I'm doing impressions now. So he stopped it and start it all over again, which I can't imagine how hard that would be. That'd be like if you and I and the rest of us bozos decided we would stop doing this and start doing good radio. You know what I mean? Like really just start all over.
Oh,
Right, like if we wanted to be Barrero,
Yeah.
and Barrero wanted to be us,
Yeah.
which I think he does.
I know that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he asks me all the time, how'd you do that today?
Right,
He
'cause-
says that to me all the time.
Because we get to sit at the cool kids table.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, his mom has the bumper sticker that says my kid's in, whatever, a 4.0 student is on
Yeah.
the dean's list and
Right.
stuff. And
honors class.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at the cool kids table.
Yeah, how often do you get letters from his parents asking to please stop making fun of him?
All the time.
All the time. Me too.
All the time.
Me too. And I'm like, I don't make fun of him, Mr. and Mrs. Barrero. The Lord does.
Yeah.
They don't appreciate emails like that from me.
No, I don't think so.
No, I'm just kidding, Danny Dan's.
So, Max and Zach, when you think of Steve Martin, do you have a movie that stands out to you? Are you Steve Martin movie fans at least, or not really?
Yeah, I definitely. It was actually I felt really dumb hearing that just now because I wasn't even technically aware that he did stand up. I only thought of him as a comedic actor. I think of The Jerk. Definitely think of The Jerk.
Yeah.
Cheaper by the dozen.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
His finest work.
Man, I forgot all about that.
I go with Three Amigos every time. Whenever
Planes,
I think
Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, fair.
Same.
Every time I think of Steve, though, I just he was the what's the word I'm looking for? He was
Horniest?
the most grounded of the Three Amigos, was he not? He was
Oh, yeah.
supposed to kind of be the straight guy of the three, right?
Yeah.
The leader?
Yeah,
question mark.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
God, that was a great movie.
Oh, Bowfinger too.
I never saw Bowfinger. That was Eddie Murphy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Kevin Hart now sells out gigantic arenas and stadiums as well.
Yeah, he's probably like the last big, like that level of comedian around right now, wouldn't you say?
Right, like Bargatze's selling out arenas.
Yeah,
Kevin Hart's selling out stadiums.
Stadiums.
Yeah.
And Kevin Hart's the last comedian that I remember because it was a pretty regular occurrence growing up that stand-up would be in the theater. Like you could go watch a stand-up special in the theater, like in the movie theater. And Kevin Hart's the last comedian that I remember that his stand-up special was actually at the movies.
Yeah,
It's kind of
either
a
way.
dying art now. I mean, most people, if you're funny, you go on TikTok or you go on Instagram or Twitter. Or
I believe
something
that
like
does make it harder for sure. The fact that a lot of people can see your entire act online. That's a tough thing, you know.
Yeah, that too. It's like, someone can just film you in the crowd, and that can be a pro and a con because sometimes people blow up off of that, and they get more attention. But other times it's like, oh, this guy's actually not that funny. And people that might have tried stand up are like, well, I don't have to go bomb in front of 1 million people. I can just make this video on my phone instead.
You know, I still think would be the most fun would be doing like Saturday Night Live. What do you call that?
Sketch.
Yeah, but not just sketch. Where you're doing it off the top of your head.
Improv?
Yeah, improv. Yeah. Because that's sort of what we do here. But I would really enjoy that. I think, and it would make sense if you think about it, if this became the golden age of improv, right? Because it obviously is something that happens one time and then doesn't happen that way ever again. So even if you do film it, it's not gonna blow your entire act because you're gonna have to do it similarly but
Sure.
different next time.
All right, so repeat recommendation because this is from like a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of you ever go and watch that Schwartz and Middleditch thing on Netflix?
I think I.
So Ben Schwartz, who plays like John Ralphio on Parks and Rec,
Right,
he's
yeah.
also the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog. The dude's absolutely hilarious.
hilarious.
I love Ben Schwartz.
John Ralphio's the best character.
John
in that
Ralphio is
show.
one of the greatest characters in TV history. Totally agree. And then Thomas Middleditch, who I think was from Silicon Valley.
Yes.
If I remember right.
In the Verizon commercial.
Correct.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
They do long form improv, which I didn't know was a thing. So, to your point, Chris, that you do it once and it never exists in that same capacity
Right.
again. Think about doing a hour and a half stage show off of essentially one or two recommendations, and then you have to put together an hour or an hour and a half of a show that will never exist again because you're improv in it.
Yeah.
But it's freaking hilarious. It's on Netflix. There's 3 or 4 of them. I think I said this a year and a half ago, but I think if you're not laughing about 20 minutes in, you can just say this isn't for me and bow out.
Sure.
But if in the first 20 minutes you're like, I kind of like where this is going, you're going to like all of it. I'm just more impressed. I mean, I thought it was super funny, but I was just super impressed that they could keep going and going and going and going. Long form improv.
Yeah.
Check it out. I think it's just called Schwartz and Middleditch. It's super good.
I've flirted with the idea of going down to what's the name of the improv place down there? Riggs.
Dudley Riggs.
Yeah, Dudley Riggs. And just taking classes just to do it, just for fun.
Sauce took one class there.
He took one. Yeah, I know. I've already paid for one, so I figured I might as well try it.
Get your money's worth.
But that'd be fun, you know?
Guys, we're not kidding.
That did happen.
Chris,
Yeah.
that's a true story. I know we joke about it all the time. That is true. Chris paid for Sauce to take improv classes. He went to one, got a refund, and kept the money.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the refund.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a true story.
How many years ago was this?
Gosh, right at
Like
the beginning.
10?
Yeah, it
Maybe
might have been more.
more.
Not this
Maybe
year.
more.
Right
Now
at the beginning.
the money thing makes more sense.
right.
Like that happened now, I'd be like,
Oh my god.
Well, and I said then, and I'll say now. I mean, it's different now, obviously, because we're all older. And I think it's a young man's game in some ways. But I thought this is a guy who could be on Saturday Night Live. He's so quick on his feet. This guy could be great. He reminded me a lot of, and this sounds mean, but of the
Farley?
Chris
Farley. Yeah, he reminded me a lot of Farley. He was a huge fan of Farley. I'm like, dude, you gotta try this, see what'll happen for you. So yeah, signed him up, sent him down. Hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm not doing it anymore.
Wasn't it something like $300?
It was $360.
Yeah,
I remember
$360.
very well.
Wow.
Yeah. He's
so
offered to
he
pay me
just
back
meat
a bunch of
sauce.
times.
He didn't like it. He just meat sauced it, or what?
Of course, he just meat sauce it. What other option
Yeah, it's
is
a dumb
there?
question.
Yeah. I
If
think
this is a well-renowned improv spot, right?
Yeah,
Like
oh my
they
God,
will
yeah.
teach you the ropes. They'll do it. And nope, not interested. One class.
Yeah, I think he said something like they didn't teach me anything I didn't already know, something like that. Just like, yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Right.
I have no idea. But I was like, well, I won't be doing that again.
That's why if you've listened to the show in the last 10 or 15 years, every time we try to put him in an improv spot and he fails, that's why we always go, well, you did take one class.
One. Yep.
So one.
Oh, my boy, I miss him.
One class.
We should all take one together.
I would love that. I would love it. I think it'd be fun.
Yes, and.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what Meat Sauce claimed to have already known. He already knew you just do the yes and.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay $360 for yes and.
He said, I know two things, Mandarin Chinese and improv.
How about freaking on The Office when Michael Scott takes improv classes, but he's so bad at improv that his go-to move is just always saying that he has a gun.
Michael Scarn or whatever.
It's such a good bit. And then the teacher tells him, like, we're not doing any more guns. So then he whispers in Ken Jeong's ear, and Ken puts his hands up, and the teacher goes, why are you putting your hands up? He told me that I can't see it, but he does have a gun. God dang it, that was such a good bit.
That's a brilliant idea,
That's
man.
one of the funniest scenes in the show.
It is really good.
That's a brilliant idea.
Because his logic was something like, the most exciting thing that can happen is if somebody has a gun. So you can't top it. If you're doing improv with somebody else, you're automatically the winner if you just say you have a gun.
God, I hope they don't bring that show back. It's so perfect. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, I agree. And if they do the reboot, it's definitely, I just don't want another Jim or another Pam or another Dwight.
Right.
If you're going to reboot it, completely different universe, completely different characters, completely different locations, start over. Oh, man.
That whole,
I don't know.
That whole concept of doing a show is brilliant, though. I mean, I love almost any of those shows. If it's done well, I just love that, man.
The
Yeah.
mockumentaries,
Yeah.
Abbott Elementary is doing it phenomenally
so
right
well.
I still haven't seen that yet. Everybody raves about
Dude, you would
it.
like that
So
a lot.
good.
It's very, very well done. Very well done.
And it has the because I love Parks and Rec too, and it's just as funny as The Office, but I felt like I didn't care about the characters as much. Like I cry at Jim and Pam's wedding every single time, you know.
Niagara.
But what'd you say?
Niagara.
Oh no, yeah.
I thought
Oh,
you said
my God.
Viagra.
You're just daydreaming.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Abbott Elementary, they got the humor and the heart down, so I really like it.
Right on. I don't think John Bonus is here today. I think he told us last week that maybe he's flying out to Japan today.
That's the thing. I thought he said he might come in for just a smidge because he was going to be gone for so long. But I must have decided against that, which I don't blame him.
It's more proof we never know what's going on. I know we tried to have a calendar. We tried to have a Google calendar. We tried to text each other. None of us. We have too many people on the show. If it was 3 of us, we'd all know. But there's like 15 of us. I don't know who's going to be here tomorrow.
We had solutions, just nobody took advantage of them.
There's too many moving parts. There's too many people.
Hawk sent them. It's a great, the Google Calendar was perfect, but
Yeah.
I used it once.
Creasel used it phenomenally.
Meat Sauce used it once and tried to get his money back.
Yep.
And I'm like, you
He
didn't
did.
pay for that, sir.
He got a refund. All right, more of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on The Fan.
The Fan.
Okay. So obviously I'm a failed movie reviewer, right? I've tried it on the show. I love everything except for maybe 3 movies. I think genuinely, I think there are 3 movies I haven't liked in my life. And one of them won an Oscar. It was that one about the people who live in those people's basement.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I didn't like it, but I was high on crack.
Parasite is one. 8 Crazy Nights you hated because we walked out together.
Right out.
That movie sucks.
It's the worst.
It's one of the worst movies of all time.
Just hated it. I found it offensive for no reason. I was offended.
What's the third one off the top of your head? Think of a
You
third
didn't like
one
Jurassic Park.
You didn't love Barbie.
Yeah. That's not the one I'm referring to. We just saw it. Was it the latest Jurassic Park?
I think it was Jurassic Park. Yeah, you guys both hated it. The new Indiana Jones sucked as well.
Was that the one we hated the most, or was
I didn't see
Jurassic
that one.
Park?
I think it was Jurassic Park.
Both hated Jurassic Park. Yep. I took the kiddo, and even she was a little bit bored.
So I'm not a good movie reviewer. So I decided, here's my niche. I'm a movie trailer reviewer now. Right?
Cornering the market.
Yeah, right. Because I think I have a pretty good feel after seeing a trailer whether or not a movie and or series is going to be good.
Well, you did say Suicide Squad would be the biggest film of all time.
I have one strike against and that was based
a little bit off.
Completely on how good she looked in that outfit.
Right.
Oh my goodness, she's a dirty dream. What's her name?
Margot
Marissa
Robbie.
Tomei. That's it. Yes.
Marissa Tomei. She too. Oh,
she's hot
God.
too.
Marissa Tomei temporarily dated George Costanza in the 90s. Just briefly.
I don't remember that. I'm sure you're right.
Until she realized she was Melissa Tomei and she was dating George Costanza.
No, she realized that George was technically engaged.
And she probably had a bad toe or something like that, which would drive George Costanza crazy. By the way, have you noticed a couple times, sidetrack here, a couple of times during this last season, and maybe it happened more often I didn't notice it, there's a couple of times this season on Curb where I'm like, he's doing Jerry Seinfeld. And it might be because I'm so hypersensitive to what you've always said that they're going to end it like Seinfeld did.
Yeah,
there's a couple of
it
times where it seems like he's doing Jerry Seinfeld. But maybe they're just a lot alike. I don't know. Anyway, okay.
I still can't believe there's only one left. What are they going to do with one?
I don't know.
Anyway.
So my first movie trailer review, and I need to make a deep voice intro for this, is for the trailer for Unfrosted, the Jerry Seinfeld Pop-Tart movie.
Netflix, I think, right?
It's going to be on Netflix. I don't know if it's a series or a movie. I can't tell.
I think it's a movie.
I thought it was as well, but that might be wrong.
Have you seen the trailer? It just came out 2 days ago.
Nope, I've seen the still shots. I've seen the promotional pictures.
It's obviously a farce about the development of Pop-Tarts and the war between Kellogg's and Post. It's got everybody in it. And so many people playing roles that are interesting. Like, I forget the comedian's name, but he's playing JFK out of nowhere. For some reason, they go to JFK for advice on how to make a Pop-Tart. But it looks brilliant. Melissa McCarthy, Jerry Seinfeld, Hugh Grant, Amy Schumer. It looks spectacular. But it also looks... Their tongue is so far in their cheek that it might be too much of a spoof. I'm a little bit worried about it. But the trailer makes it look fantastic. When I read about it, I was thinking, how can they make a movie about this? But it is... So they're taking a concept like creating Pop-Tart and making it like Oppenheimer, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So it looks really, really, really good. So
what's the release date?
May 3rd.
May 3rd. That's right.
3rd.
Coming right up.
It's been done for almost 2 years now.
Is it a movie or a series?
It looks like it's a movie.
Okay,
it's got a PG-13 rating.
Right, there you go. That's how it looks on the trailer. So, Unfrosted, starring Melissa McCarthy and Jerry Seinfeld, the story of creating the Pop-Tart.
Well, let's just start with the name. Who in the bleep eats unfrosted Pop-Tarts?
Only crazy people.
That's insane.
That's the worst.
I can't even imagine. Oh, yeah, they still do. The only one I can think of, I can see in my head, are strawberry and cinnamon.
Ugh.
Those are the only two I can think of. But dude,
what a waste of time.
Jim Gaffigan is a major part of the movie. There's everywhere. Like every scene of the trailer is a different star. And it's an action flick at some points. It looks like it's going to be great. But how much do you love, Melissa McCarthy, Jerry Seinfeld, Jim Gaffigan,
Yep.
all these gigantic names, May 3rd on Netflix, Unfrosted, So there's my first ever movie trailer review.
I think you found your niche.
I think this is it.
Far from your first, but your first official
Yeah, my
one.
first official. Yeah, right.
Do you
there
have
you
a
go.
rating system that we can?
I sure do. I'm going to give it possible thumbs up because you don't know for sure. Right? But out of 4 possible thumbs up, I'm going to give this 3 possible thumbs up because I'm afraid they took it too far. It might be too far with their tongue in their cheek. And you know what happens when that happens, Max?
Yeah,
you can't
you
put
know.
your tongue too far.
You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to end up at Planned Parenthood the next day.
You might end up yucky yuckies. You know what I mean? Yucky,
I
yucky.
typed in unfrosted Pop-Tarts and something called Ghetto Gastro toaster pastries popped up.
What in the sweet hell? Is that an urban dictionary?
Is that like bootleg Pop-Tarts?
Oh, man.
Like how they got the bootleg Lucky Charms that are called like charms that are lucky, you know? Like,
yeah,
But
right.
who wants the word gastro in there?
right.
I
Or
don't.
ghetto.
I mean, ghetto's one thing, but gastro implies you're going to have some bathroom issues.
That
Ghetto
is true.
Gastro.
That is true.
I don't want ghetto gastro Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, you know what happens?
I got to call my lawyer.
Yeah, the juice is going to be loose.
I had
It's gonna
Ghetto
be loose.
Gastro trademarked.
There you go. Juices lose.
You see Ghetto Gastro at the 7th Street entry.
Oh, they're not playing the
Friday.
Fillmore? They're not
No,
big enough for the
no.
Fillmore?
Not yet. Well, they like to
They're
stay.
just starting out.
Yeah, they like to, they want to hold on to their roots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know what I mean?
Speaking of concerts, I believe Sauce is seeing Dave Matthews today, is he not?
Today's the day.
In
I
Amsterdam.
believe that is correct, sir. And speaking of today is the last day ever of the Tropicana. It is official.
R.I.P.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was like it must have been a couple hours ago, right?
Yep. I believe that is correct.
I'm not going to miss it.
I never
Anybody
went
else?
inside. I wish I would have gone inside.
You're not missing anything, Zacho.
Seen that weird ceiling.
Yeah.
The weird ceiling.
You're missing nothing. We go to Vegas a week from tomorrow.
We do.
And the Tropicana won't be there.
quite comfortable.
This was recorded. That was Sean Connery as James Bond talking about the Tropicana. And this is Count Basie.
Oh, how many? One.
Count Basie. In
Let's just go with
1969.
Busey. Let's just assume
Count
it's related
Busey.
to Gary Busey.
There he is.
There he is.
Count Basie recorded a live record in the showroom in 1969 of the Tropicana. And that's it. She's closing today. They're going to blow it up for a baseball stadium that nobody will go to. And then they'll end up moving that team, just like they do all of them. And then, guess what? The owner's going to get caught burning chickens.
Or
And so-
saying something racist.
That's all of the above.
Burning chickens while saying something racist.
Yeah, about the chicken.
So
Damn cluckers.
So Glenn Taylor owns the Wolves and the Lynx, right? So he's been the owner of a multi-championship winning team, right?
Yes, right.
Then he's also one of the biggest donors at Mankato.
Yeah.
Who just won both the men's and women's D2 basketball titles.
They play in the Taylor Center.
All this dude does is print money, win championships, and burn chickens alive, unless it has to do with the NBA. Right? Billionaire.
Yeah.
So successful newspaper mogul, right? Print
Yeah.
mogul. He's
Yeah,
a print
man.
mogul.
Yeah.
Donates to Mankato. They win trophies. Puts together the Lynx. They win like 4 trophies. In the 35-year history of the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think maybe the Clippers have a worse record than us. Maybe. But with
Maybe.
that possible?
I don't even know.
But with the last couple of years of winning, maybe
It maybe changed,
Maybe
like-
it's changed. But I mean, the Clippers forever,
They're a
for
joke.
most of my life, were just the worst team in professional sports. I got to think the Wolves are close.
Man. The
They should have just gone to New Orleans.
Tropicana was the frequent haunt of the legendary Rat Pack.
Was that their spot?
That was their spot. Guests were welcomed for 67 years, and the doors to Las Vegas Strip's third oldest casino will be chained shut today at noon.
Yeah, as dumb as it sounds, if I was in the Rat Pack, I wouldn't want one spot. I would want the entire strip to be my playground,
Yeah.
right? If I walk in, the whole place should go, oh my God, the Rat Pack's here,
Yeah.
right? Right this way, sir. It shouldn't matter where you go. You should be treated like that at all of the casinos. But I guess whatever. Tropicana, fine.
It cost $15 million to build when it was made. It's being torn down to make a $1.5 billion baseball stadium.
Yep.
They called it the Tiffany of the Strip. There was a towering tulip-shaped fountain near the entrance. Mosaic tiles, mahogany paneled walls throughout. Black and white photographs from the time give a view into what it was like inside the Tropicana at its height when it frequently hosted A-list guest stars. Elizabeth Taylor, Debbie Reynolds, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Mel Torme, Eddie Fisher. Gladys Knight and Wayne Newton once had residencies there. How much fun would it have been to be in Vegas back in those days, man? When it would have
been very different.
Oh my God,
very. I would almost guarantee you feel safer now,
dude. No doubt. I went there for the first time in '92, and I'm telling you, as bad as it can be on the Strip, it's much safer now.
Oh, for sure.
Even than then. I can remember being there, and first of all, I can remember in '92 being in Vegas, walking down the Strip. Elvis was everywhere.
Yep.
Right. The people who flipped the cards at you to try to get the hookers.
Yep, the porn guys
were everywhere.
They were everywhere. Yeah,
and
nothing wrong with that.
No. As a young man, you collect them, right?
Yeah.
It's free porn, basically, what they were handing out, right?
Got to catch them all.
Yeah, absolutely. That was it.
You're trading them like baseball cards, getting them graded.
Yeah. And there were just stretches of people who you could tell had just lost everything.
Yeah.
It just now it's glam and glitz and everything like that. Back in then, it still felt dirty and dangerous, and I kind of liked it better.
Did it kind of embrace the dirty and dangerous more? Back
it embraced
in the day?
everything.
Yeah.
And then it tried to go family friendly. That epically failed.
Yeah.
But at least maybe that forced the cleanup a little bit. Hey, back to the porn cards for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know this, so I'm asking the question. Maybe I should just wait until 7:30 so we can get this verified. The gals on the cards are just promotional, right? It's not like those are the ones you're getting. All the gals on the cards that they hand you look like Kate Upton, right?
Yeah, right.
They're just curvy as hell. My guess is the gals that actually show up look like Jar Jar Binks.
Well,
and probably talk like him, too.
Yeah. And listen, you like what you like, right? I say don't knock it till you try it. Because that was my first thought. Hey, you're not the girl on the card.
Right, but I mean, think of how desperate you have to be to go, like, I know this is the one that got my attention, but I'm going to absolutely bang anything that shows up.
Right.
That's rock bottom.
Is it?
I think it is.
Okay.
I think that's rock bottom.
Hey, Max, closed circuit. Is that rock bottom?
I was like, is it?
I don't think Corey knows what rock bottom is.
Max just
I
said
see
it.
some rocks around here.
But, Max, looks and talks like Jar Jar Binks? You're going to pay for that? That's rock bottom.
No, I don't think so.
Was that your Jar Jar impression?
But listen.
Oh, me so horny.
Back in the day, I mean, think about how old Max is. That hit him right in the right spot.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's nostalgic.
It's nostalgic. Brings me back to my childhood.
Oh, boy.
Man, Barbara Bogus was 26 when she started working at the Tropicana in 1978 as a linen room attendant. The Tropicana was pretty much sitting there all by itself, she said. It was desert all around. It used to take me 10 minutes to get to work. Now it takes me an hour. My God.
Jeez.
Think about that.
But she's going to get, is it $2,000 a year worked at Tropicana? Is their severance?
No kidding.
So, yeah, there's a lot of 60,000 plus, 70,000 plus employees that have been there forever that are going to get paid pretty well.
So per year that she worked there, she gets $2,000.
Yep.
So she worked there 10 years, she gets $20,000 a year.
20,000.
40,000.
You're saying total though. One-time severance.
2,000 per year worked there. Yeah.
Right. So if she's
just
worked
one-time
there,
severance.
One-time
Okay,
severance.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, got it. Huh. Interesting.
All right, front page sports when we come back. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
Guys, anybody know what the forecast is? Anybody know what the forecast is?
Hang on, he's too busy reading testimonials on the Girls Direct website, the brothel basically website. Zach found the comment section.
But people needed to know the weather.
What's the weather, Zacho?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's cloudy and 45 today. Chance of some snow.
I should have known better than to put the three of you guys together over there.
Zach's looking up women, right? He's looking up prostitutes.
I know it. He's going to make another announcement this weekend.
Zach, what's the feedback?
He's taking his talents back.
Well, Jonathan says, my friends all made jokes about the guys handing out cards on for escorts on the Strip. But after a long night of partying, I didn't want to end up in my room alone.
I'm with you, brother.
Talk about it.
Keep going, Jonathan.
Does that say M. Fuller on it?
So I decided to take a chance and actually call Girls Direct to you. I was a little nervous at first, but they made ordering fast and easy.
Oh, wow.
In less than a half an hour, there was a knock on my door. To be honest, I was expecting more than an average streetwalker. So I was blown away when there stood a gorgeous girl, centerfold quality, the kind I'd only dreamed of having.
She sounds piteous.
I'll never sleep alone in Las Vegas again.
All right. I mean, I'm sold.
That's a good feeling.
Right, Rosie?
Yeah, M. Rosen says.
Yeah, we should ask Mark about this at 7:30. He honestly, I know we joke about it, but he is the pro. He knows.
Yeah, well,
Right.
He's got to know.
remember when
Yeah, he
Marge
gets
told
it.
us about that lost night in Vegas that she had? She
Go on.
described it as follows.
One girl, 300 guys.
Yeah, that happens.
Yep, cost her a lot of money.
That's all right, Barney.
Yeah,
Matt or whatever his name was, he'll forgive you.
yeah, for sure. He was right there.
Maybe he was guy number 183 or something. Who knows?
Time now for Front Page Sports, presented by Holiday Station Stores.
Holiday Station Stores. Hey, do you guys know you can get Red Bull at Holiday? You can get Red Bull there. Well, you also can buy two, get one free. Mix and match any flavors of Red Bull at Holiday, those 8.4-ounce cans. Buy two, get one free. Red Bull at Holiday. Do it this morning.
All right.
I went to Holiday yesterday and got Powerball tickets. I haven't seen if anybody won, so my guess is nobody did.
I believe that is correct, sir.
Oh, man.
Let me see here.
You didn't win?
Nope.
No winner.
No one won.
Wow.
So almost 1.1 billion on Wednesday.
Yeah. Oof. 6 tickets.
Hang on.
did.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Minnesota!
Ben made fun of me yesterday for doing this, but look, it happened. 6 winners, and one of them in Minnesota. We have $1 million winner in Minnesota. Florida, 2 in Maryland, 1 in Minnesota, 1 in North Carolina, and 1 in Virginia. So even though the Powerball didn't go off, somebody out there matched 5. So if you bought Powerball tickets for yesterday, hopefully at Holiday,
Yeah.
check your tickets.
But I'll tell you, if we talk about it all the time, would you come forward if you won? If I won the $1 million, you guys would know this morning. Well, first of all, because I'd be erect. Right?
Yeah.
Which I guess is no different
let's
than normal.
try
With your
to-
brand new BBC that you installed.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
19, 24, 40, 42, 56, and 23
That
is the
I
Powerball.
wouldn't have had one.
Well, so I did that yesterday. And again, I'm
Oh, no.
so aware that this is hypocritical.
Oh, yeah.
But when I got my tickets, 2 out of the 3, because I got 3 tickets, 2 out of the 3, the lowest number was about 47. And in my head, I go, that ain't the winner. I know those 5 numbers plus the Powerball have the exact same chance of winning as like 11, 26. Well, it just, when it starts that high, it just, you mentally go, that ain't going. I've never seen numbers like that win in my life. That ain't happening. And it didn't.
Yeah. Not this time.
But the odds are identical.
They are.
It just doesn't feel like they are. But they are.
As long
So
as
who
you're not
cares about
playing
my
letters,
feelings?
you got a chance.
That is correct. Let's go to the women's Final Four. We are now down to the Final Four after 2 pretty epic games last night. Number 1, Iowa and Caitlin Clark, 94-87 over number 3, LSU and Angel Reese. Clark had 41 points, including 9 threes. So a little bit of revenge from last year's final, and now Iowa back to the Final Four.
Man, that was a hell of a game last night until it wasn't very quickly in the second half. But that first half was just back and forth. I mean, it lived up to the bill 100%. And Caitlin, I mean, she damn near had a quadruple double last night. Yeah, she came to play. And they weathered the storm early after LSU made that comeback. And LSU just wasn't the same after Angel Reese went out. But it was awesome, man. I mean, good for women's basketball, especially because I know a lot of eyes were watching last night, and it lived up to the bill. It was a great game.
I didn't see what happened to her. What injury?
She hurt her ankle. Okay. I guess she had hurt her ankle previously.
Right.
And then she went out for a little bit, and she was dominant in that first quarter. I mean, she already almost had a double-double, and then she came back in, and she wasn't the same. You could tell she was kind of injured.
In the second game, Minnesota's very own Paige Beckers, 28 points as she leads UConn to the Final Four yet again, 80-73 over the number 1 seed USC. So Friday night, the Final Four in Cleveland. Why wouldn't you want to go to Cleveland to see a Final Four? 2 teams that are in the women's Final Four, also in the men's Final Four. Must be nice to be UConn and NC State. Number 3, NC State will take on number 1, South Carolina, which is a gigantic favorite.
Yeah.
And then number 1, Iowa versus number 3, UConn.
You know what I'm going to do? You just said Cleveland, and Max went, and and everybody kind of ripped on it. I'm going to take a trip to Cleveland this summer. It's going to be one of my trips in my van.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I'm going to do that, I think, just to give you guys a full report, because I think it gets a bad rap, but it may get a well-deserved bad rap. I don't know. I'll give you a full report. That'll be one of my trips. Boy, that'd take a long time to drive there. I'm going to give her a shot. Right, Zach?
It's a bit of a hike. I didn't go to the Cleveland part. I drove by it.
Yeah.
And but once you know Indiana, you know
Sure.
Ohio.
Yeah, I know it pretty well. Yeah.
It's
going there Friday, as a matter of fact.
Nothing but turnpike.
Yeah, turnpikes.
How close do you get to Cleveland on your trek from Philadelphia to Los Angeles? Because you're going on the north side, right? You're going by Indiana. You're going to Indianapolis.
Let me see here. I'm just taking I-70, so wherever I-70 goes.
Dude, I've driven every mile of I-70. Like, literally.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like we go through. I'm going through Columbus.
You're going through Columbus?
Yeah, I won't be really anywhere close to.
All right. The NHL suspended the Wild's Ryan Hartman for 3 games for throwing his stick onto the ice in the direction of the officials on Saturday. Was it at the end of the game, Zach, or right at the when the game was ending? So unsportsmanlike conduct for Hartman, out 3 games.
Yeah, John Hines didn't even know about it in the post-game presser. He was asked about it after the game, and he was made aware of it then. But yeah, Hartman had a high stick go right across his face, right in front of multiple officials, and it was one of many missed calls on Saturday. I'm not making excuses. That's not why they lost. But it was a very frustrating day. It was the weirdest thing, though, because you had the 5-minute major, the spearing. That was a hard call to make. They made that, but they missed, blatant trips and all that stuff, and that frustration built up, and Hartman didn't like how it ended, so he took matters into his own hands. I'm sure he's sorry about it, and he'll serve his penalty.
He's sorry. Ottawa at the Wild tonight at 7 o'clock. The Wild need a mathematical miracle with 9 games to go. They have 3 games at home, then 5 on the road, then they wrap up at home against Seattle on April 18th for the final game of the season. Not a great night for the Wild last night, even though they didn't play, because the Blues won 3-2 over the Oilers in overtime. Now, the Kings did lose 4-3 to the Jets, but you're chasing both teams, and it's a nightmare, right? So the Wild now, 8 points behind the Kings for the final wild card spot. That's the one that technically matters, so I guess, sure, the Kings didn't get 2 points. That's fine. But the bad news is St. Louis is 5 points ahead of us. So you have to catch both, right? And that's just not going to happen.
No, probably not. But these guys, they're going to give it their all till the personnel is going to be top notch and until they say they can't make it. So,
well, by the way, this isn't revisionist history because we all said this like 2 weeks ago. Right, the Blues are doing what we needed the Wild to do, right? The Blues are 3 points behind the spot because they keep winning. And if the Wild had just kind of kept that going, maybe they would be 3 points back with 9 to go, and then it absolutely wouldn't be over. But they are the Blues are 3 points behind the final wild card spot. They're making a run.
A major, but very fair criticism of this team is that they just didn't show up in the big moments. They won a lot of the small games, but when it came to the big games. We talk about the points left on the table. They had back-to-back overtime losses to St. Louis. If those go the other way, and if they show up to some of the other games that they needed to show up to, I think the Wild would be the team within 3 of the Kings. But nope. Yeah.
Twins were off yesterday. They are at the Drunken Scotties today at 3:10. Louis Varland on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. The Drunken Scotties undefeated. They're 3-0.
Let's bury that border battle on a Tuesday night in April.
Yeah, that makes 0 sense.
I'm so tired of that MLB scheduling.
Well, and like you said, the Dodgers are coming here in April when there's a chance, almost 100% chance of snow today.
Yeah,
come on, no.
All right, that's enough. Should we do what really matters when we come back?
Yeah, you damn right we should.
That'll be more interesting anyway. More of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on the Fan.
Oh, good. The Fan.
The Power Hour begins at 8 a.m. It's powered by Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Watch the Power Trip weekdays at 8, KFAN.com/watch.
It's supposed to get snow this morning here in the Twin Cities. Like an inch or so. Less than an inch. Is it snowing out there yet? Do you see it anywhere?
No, we got the shades down, but look, even if it does, who cares, right? It's supposed to be, 50 by the end of the week?
Yeah, 44 for a high today.
Yeah, so even if it snows, if it's
57 on Saturday.
If it's 45 and it's snowing, it's not even going to stick, right?
Yeah, next week we're looking upper 50s, lower 60s every day next week.
Hell yeah.
Which is cool.
Let me, while you're tap dancing here, let me tap dance.
I'm going to tap dance for you. Watch this.
Next Wednesday in Las Vegas, the high is 76. Freaking perfect, right? We don't need 106.
No.
We don't need 96.
Yeah, that's next week.
76 next Wednesday.
I can't believe it. Sheesh.
Yep.
Wow. Those who use the DQ mobile app can get a sweet deal on the newest Blizzard flavors this month. Apparently, there's a BOGO deal on Blizzards this month.
Oh, hell yeah.
April 1st to April 14th to give ice cream lovers a chance to try this year's summer Blizzard menu. Peanut butter cookie dough party, picnic peach cobbler, ultimate cookie, along with the return of frosted animal cookie, brownie batter, and cotton candy. The deal can be applied to any size Blizzard to get a free one of equal or lesser value using the app, apparently. Are you kidding me? You buy 2 smalls, eat them both for yourself. Don't tell anybody. Don't show anybody. Do it in the parking lot so nobody sees you. In fact, pull over to that dark part of the parking lot and start eating. Am I right?
Fake a phone call when you go pick it up. Be like, I'm picking up our Blizzards now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what you do. You're in the drive-through lane. You're like, I'm gonna have I'm gonna give him a chocolate extreme Blizzard and hold on one second. Yeah, okay. And she wants a peanut butter cookie dough party. Right?
And what did the neighbors want?
Yeah, wait.
What were they asking? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to need 4 of those.
Yeah, we're going to need 4 of them. And then you just sadly turn your podcast way up, pull into the dark part of the parking lot, and eat till you can't eat no more.
Keep your eyes straight. Do not look around.
Don't look around.
And then I would argue, have a real sincere cry.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well,
before you drive away.
Yeah,
and a cigarette.
Don't cry while you're driving.
Yeah, because
put that Johnny Cash song on.
Yeah. Which one? I've been everywhere, man?
I assume he means hurt.
Okay. I don't know why I'm listening to I'll Be Everywhere.
I've never done that, by the way. I've never listened.
Uplifting song, right? Cash is traveling the country. He's having fun.
I've never listened to Hurt by Johnny Cash in the parking lot of the Dairy Queen off of 14 while eating ice cream and crying. I've never done that.
I don't know why people keep accusing you of that.
I don't know. It wasn't you.
It's a different guy and look like me.
All right, shall we do what really matters?
Yeah, and can I ask Zacho a question real quick?
Sure.
Because I was down at Pods the other day, dropping off my van to get some work done. Love those guys, man. Great work. They do great work for me. How many high schools are in White Bear Lake? How many schools, period, like elementary schools and all that? Because that place is enormous. It's much bigger than I thought White Bear Lake was.
I don't know what the latest number is because it was like 11 or 12, but they've added a couple more up in the Hugo area now because that place, the whole population is sprawling up there.
Right.
I think they got 2, maybe 3 stoplights now in Hugo.
Hey, does Willow Lane Elementary still exist? And was that technically Vadnais or White Bear Lake?
White Bear Lake. But no, maybe it's closer to I don't know. It's right on the, where it is. It's right.
I don't know where it was. I was like 6 when I went there, so I don't remember.
How'd you get home?
I think the bus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they're doing a big lacrosse tournament real soon. Like they're trying to do Hockey Day Minnesota for lacrosse in White Bear Lake. That's gonna be a big deal.
Hang on, so wait a minute, Zacho. If I went to Willow Lane Elementary, and I did until 3rd grade when I moved to Chisago, but if I went to Willow Lane for a couple of years, am I technically a White Bear Lake Bear?
In a way, yeah.
Wow.
Are you and I the same?
If you want to be.
Did you guys just become best friends?
Well, you notice how I said, am I a White Bear Lake Bear? I didn't want to go, am I technically a bear?
Cash those tickets.
Cash those tickets.
Am I a topper?
The Wolves host Houston tonight at 7 o'clock. The Wolves are 51-23. If they win tonight, Max, it is technically the second best record in franchise history.
Let's go.
We kind of walked through this last week, but their all-time best record was 58-24. That was, of course, the 03-04 squad that made it to the Western Conference Finals. But the other 3 times they've cracked 50 wins was 51, 50, and 50. So they're at 51 right now, tied for the second best of all time. But if they win tonight, and Houston's much, much better than we thought in the beginning of the year. They had that 11-game win streak a couple days ago. If they win tonight, second best record in franchise history.
Who knew?
That's awesome because, I mean, we've all watched the Timberwolves this year. It's been one of the most fun years, if not the most fun year in Timberwolves history. And I don't know how you guys felt back in the day when they had that, franchise record winning season, but I'm feeling hopeful as I've ever been. I'm not really too afraid of anybody in the Western Conference, and I think they legitimately have a chance. Was that kind of the feeling around here?
Oh, everybody thought they had a chance.
Then? Oh, nobody was just like, okay, we're going to lose to Shaq and Kobe in the Western Conference or anything.
No,
like that.
because you gotta remember that was the Garnett era where we would win and be competitive. So it didn't seem impossible with Kevin Garnett, right? It's been 20 years since that where all we've done is lose.
Right.
So that was the back end of KG, right? He had been here since 95. So that was very no, this makes sense. This is exactly what we do. We win like 40 or 50 games and we compete. Definitely felt like it was a chance. This one feels different, but it feels like we have a chance.
It feels wide open this year, and I'm super excited for the playoffs.
And the Wolves now officially have clinched a playoff spot, which shocks no one. So in the West, OKC, Denver, and the Wolves are absolutely locked in.
Yeah, they're going to be a top 3 seed no matter what.
This is one of those weird years. We're the only 3 that are technically locked in, but if you look at the standings, it's basically over, right? The Jazz, Grizzlies, Blazers, and Spurs are mathematically out.
Yeah.
The Rockets are 2 games behind the Warriors for the final play-in spot. So 10 out of the 11 make it, at least to the play-in game, but the other 4 are out. So it's almost like the teams that are still fighting for it are the teams that are making it in.
Yeah, it's just going to be shuffling the order pretty much because it's the top 3 are locked in and they're going to be shuffling throughout these last 8 games, and then pretty much the rest of the standings are going to be shuffling.
So I heard Britt Robson on with Sinekin yesterday. What? Anybody else hear that? I didn't know this part about it, but so the Thunder lead the West. The Denver Nuggets a half a game back. The Wolves are a game back of OKC. He was saying that the Wolves now lead the season series with the Nuggets 2-1, right, with 1 game to go. But we have a better division record than the Denver Nuggets, and I believe that's the second tiebreaker. So even if Denver beats us in the other game, right, so the season series finishes at 2-2, he was saying that the division record is the next tiebreaker. So if the Wolves and Nuggets end up tied, that we have the tiebreaker over Denver.
Whoa. Hey. That'd be pretty sweet. And
that was the first time I had heard that.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I've never heard that either. And I wonder if that's the same case with the OKC Thunder.
So their division record is 12-4. Ours is 12-3. So we're slightly better, but the Nuggets are 8-6 in the division.
Ooh, yikes.
We'll see. I don't know.
And we don't play OKC again this year, right?
No.
How important is home court advantage in the NBA playoffs? Because I've never had to shoot a ball while all these people are yelling defense, boom, boom. I imagine it's a little harder, but
yeah, it's actually really. I would say aside from football, I would say it's probably the second most home court advantage you can get in major American team sports. It makes a huge difference, and you can even just see it in a lot of these teams' home and away records. And the Target Center has been absolutely electric this year. The players and Chris Finch himself have said that the fans have really contributed to a lot of their wins at the Target Center. So I think it's huge. But right now, for the Wolves, I would say the concern is more that first round matchup. Because, again, this is a really good team, and we're hoping that they can go all the way. But we got to get that monkey off our back first and get out of the first round. So it's really important what that first round matchup is. So you might want to be the second or third seed depending on how it is, because I don't want to play the Mavericks necessarily. I don't really want to play the Kings or the Pelicans. So, I mean, it kind of just depends on how the rest of the conference shakes out. But home court advantage is super important.
But what really matters is this.
As I was doing my research about the Tropicana this morning, I found some other facts about Vegas I found flat out fascinating, including this. The shrimp consumption in Las Vegas is over 60,000 pounds per day, higher than the rest of the nation combined.
Wow. Okay, that's an insane stat.
Yeah, what?
How is that even possible? The rest of the nation combined?
Yeah.
Wow, that doesn't seem possible,
I've also seen the logistics of bringing seafood to the desert, and it's unbelievable.
You remember when Lieber went on that epic Midwest seafood rant?
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
He went crazy.
He was not happy about it. Basically, leave the fish on the coast.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
My guess is that is kind of a fascinating trek, even though it's not like it's in Minnesota, right? It's a 4-hour drive from Los Angeles, but still the logistics of getting it there.
Yeah, that much.
I would watch that documentary.
My goodness. Stinky.
What did you say, 60,000?
Yeah.
Jeez.
My God.
Right.
God, we're fat.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This is not bad for you, is it? Shrimp?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shrimp was awesome.
Super sad news yesterday in the world of sports. Former NFL cornerback Vontae Davis found dead in his, I think in his home, right?
At grandma's house, I thought.
Oh, is it grandmother's house?
I thought that was what I read.
He's 35 years old. Foul play not suspected.
Man.
But they did say there was an investigation still. I didn't understand that. Unless,
I think you still have to investigate.
Yeah, maybe if, and again, I don't want to speculate, so never mind. I don't want to say the rest of it. You know what I'd forgotten about Vontae Davis? Do you remember how his career ended?
Yeah.
I had forgotten about that. I remember him playing for the Colts and the Dolphins. I forgot he was the guy who retired at halftime.
Did you see the video of LaShawn McCoy and his other teammate talking about how he came to the huddle and was just like, all right, I guess he has a really high voice. And he's like, all right, that's it, y'all, I'm done. And they're like, okay, you're done after the season? You're done? He's like, no, I'm done after this series. Yeah.
In 2018, he was playing for the Bills and just said he just didn't feel it anymore and didn't want to do it. So at halftime, he just, some would say quit. He claimed he retired at halftime.
Yeah.
Halftime. And he said, no offense to my teammates or fans or coaches, I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah, they
just walked away.
He made a big tackle, got the crowd pumped up, and then pretty much came back to the huddle and said, boys, this is a young man's game. I'm done.
I'm done.
Wow, man. Shared his own story in a book he wrote. He had a rough upbringing in Washington, D.C. with a violent father and a drug-addicted mother. His grandma saved him and his 6 siblings, including former NFL tight end Vernon Davis, by taking
Wait
them...
a minute, that was his brother?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't realize that either.
Yeah.
And if I did know that, I definitely had forgotten that.
I
didn't
see
know they
it
were
now
related.
because they do look similar, but I didn't know that.
Taking them from foster care and adopting them. In school, Davis excelled athletic in football and track, ended up choosing to attend Illinois. He was a first-round draft pick in 2009, two-time All-Pro during his NFL career. Gone way too soon.
Yeah, 35.
Jeez Louise, man. So no details on that yet.
Man. All right, what really matters is that. But what also matters less is this.
Yeah, so let me give you some ridiculous fact that you might care about. Oh, this would be cool. The Palms Casino Resort, which I believe is off the Strip,
It is, yep.
offers a kingpin suite with 2 fully functional bowling lanes inside the suite.
What?
That'd be cool.
That would be sweet.
I can't remember if it's Palms or the Rio. I think it's Palms, though, where they have a suite with a full-blown basketball court in there.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Never been to the Palms, right? The Rio sucks. And again, it sucks that you either have to Uber there or it's a very deceptive walk across the bridge and it takes 9 hours.
See what they're trying to do?
Go
They're
on.
trying to put a monorail type thing to the Strip.
They should.
Between which ones?
Between the Rio and the Palms. And
who wants to even monorail to the Rio? It's a dump. Tear it down and then put a monorail up.
Well, maybe they'll make it nicer if there's a monorail. Or maybe people like the dirty places.
Why don't you go do it then, Core?
I don't have the time to do that.
Call it the Core.
The Palms again had its moment back in the day with the reality show, and I'm blanking on the one that it was, but it had the Playboy Club or whatever on the top floor, or the Ghost Bar or whatever the hell it was called. But the Palms had like a moment 20 years ago.
Really?
But I never went there because I wasn't in Vegas for that kind of crowd anyway.
Right.
The Cove.
The Cove.
Party at the Palms? Was that what it was called?
Maybe.
Wow.
Or Real World Las Vegas, 2002.
Yeah, I think that might have been it. I think that's where they partied. Or maybe that's where they stayed.
Real World Las Vegas.
Now I'm forgetting.
The season featured 7 people who lived on a penthouse on the 28th floor.
Was that the one with Trishelle?
My God.
Trishelle? How do you know
Why hasn't
that?
Vanderpump done this, by the way?
Or just...
Oh, yeah, Trishelle.
Yeah, Trishelle.
Cantanella.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. She still plays poker, but
How
she
do you
was...
do that stuff?
She was super hot back in the day. I haven't seen her lately.
Louisiana. It's called Cut Off Louisiana. See, like actually two different words. Cut Off Louisiana.
I think Trishelle ended up in Playboy when Playboy was still a thing as well. She was trying to ride the...
she posed nude in Playboy.
Yeah, I think she tried to ride the reality TV fame for as long as she could.
Yeah, it even says on her Wikipedia, competed successfully in celebrity poker tournaments.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Either way, we don't need a monorail to the Rio.
Come on. Why not?
We need a wrecking ball to the Rio.
Oh, come on.
Place is a dump.
Hey, you're right. We should just go downtown.
Oh, God.
We need a monorail to downtown.
You damn right we do. Now, why don't we do that?
That makes more sense, because then I can monorail down, go to Circa, then monorail back.
Or how about a crazy idea? Monorail to the damn airport.
Now
you're talking.
Getting crazy.
Yeah.
Now you're
That's
talking.
too wild.
Now you're talking.
You're out of pocket.
As much as I love finding a cab.
By the way, we can talk to Rosie about this in an hour. He still claims, Rosie still claims, he is not coming to join the shows next Thursday
or
Friday.
I don't know why he wouldn't do that. Like, I thought he was part of the show.
He's staying at Circa, and obviously we're super far down from there, but he's saying probably won't see you guys.
Well, that's not right.
Why would you go to Vegas while we're there and then not join the show?
Well, they had
Plus
booked it before.
1,700 that he doesn't show up.
He's got to collect those cards.
He's got
to write some more reviews.
That's right.
He's got all the cards.
They did book their trip before we did. I admit that is true. But still, I mean, come on. You're supposed to be part of the show.
They really picked that weekend before we did?
They really did.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, he didn't want to, take any time away from the show.
Of course not.
Which show?
We were there.
The show you done about.
All right, more on What Really Matters after this. Marty Gellner in like 20 minutes or so. Rosie in about 45.
Speaking of Rosie, when we come back, remind me to do this. Today is the anniversary, 9th anniversary of Rosie saying something that became a KFAN Power Trip t-shirt. One of the most famous lines from Rosie ever. Happened today, 9 years ago.
The Fan.
The electric rock duo 21 Pilots are headed back to Minnesota. Catch them October 12th as they bring the Clancy World Tour to Target Center. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. For more info, head over to KFAN.com, make your calendar. We also have tickets, I believe, to give away a little bit later on in the show. So stick around for that, folks.
Guys, 9 years ago today.
9 years ago. Is this guessable?
Think it became a State Fair t-shirt. It was a big seller. People said it all the time. A Rosie quote.
Oh, is this Alaskan Pipeline?
That's right. Wow, good pull, dude. How in the hell did you do that?
Well, because we were talking during the break. Go See It 5,000. Go See It was like 15 years ago. That was when I first started dating Angie. So that was a pretty easy timeline. I knew it wasn't that one. We were trying to think of the other phrases. Until you said State Fair t-shirt, I wasn't sure, but Alaskan Pipeline was my best guess.
I like the Alaskan Pipeline.
My God.
That's right. 9 years ago today.
And was that the North?
contest?
So I believe it was the North Dakota team, right? They were changing the name from the Sioux.
That's right.
And Sauce and I think, Chris, I think you were gone for this. Were you not?
I think that.
If I remember.
I don't know. I don't know.
Either way, I think
either way.
I'm pretty sure we had Sauce read through a bunch of names that Sauce and I had Googled.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all dirty sex moves like Alaskan Pipelines. None of them were the actual possible names of the team. And it was like the Angry Dragons, the Swedish Sombreros. I think we have all those other buddies
all of them,
too.
The Houdinis.
Because he said all of them.
Yeah, all of those, yeah.
And then when we were like, Rosie, which one's your favorite? He just goes, I like the Alaskan Pipeline. And of course, we told people, don't Google what that is.
I like the Alaskan Pipeline.
He loved it.
He sounds so earnest.
Oh, yeah. So he said it so positively that we thought it was funny, and then we went with it for years and years and years. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'll say it again. Do not Google what that is. Oh, no. I don't think it's ever been done.
There's no way that it's ever been done.
That's
right?
so gross.
And in all of human history? Come on.
I hope not.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
It has.
I hope
You know
not.
it has.
Let me remind me. Oh, my.
Are you okay?
You reading it now for the first time?
Did you go to Google Images?
That's a lot of premeditation there for that.
Yes, that is a lot of premeditation.
Human history, and there's a lot of us that are.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean,
the fact that somebody thought of that, even if they haven't done it, the fact that somebody has thought of it probably leads to Chris's point that if you can think of it, you can do it.
And I guess the real question is had someone done it before someone thought of it? Because I think Chris is right. Someone has done it since finding out what it is.
There you go.
But did someone do it before it was invented?
Well, it sounds like he loves it. Rosie?
He doesn't love it. He didn't
Rosie
say,
loves it.
No, he said he likes it.
I like the Alaskan Pipeline.
He likes it.
Oh, boy.
He likes it. Wow, 9 years flew by. Flew by, Bubby. Flew by.
All right, here's more of what really matters. It's nice to see the Yankees actually finally win one. They are 5-0 for the first time since 1992. You know what's weird? When you think of the history of the New York Yankees, you just assume they probably get off to 5-0 starts pretty frequently.
Right.
Yeah, right.
1933, 1988, 1992, and 2024. So it's pretty rare. The 1927 Yankees started 6-0, but their third game was a tie.
Oh.
Which
That's
shouldn't happen in baseball.
Yeah, I didn't know that was ever a thing in baseball.
Didn't know that was a thing either outside of an all-star game
or something.
Who knows? So yeah, the Yankees 5-0 after beating the Diamondbacks 5-2 yesterday. 5-0 Yankees. What really matters though is this.
Okay, Corey, everybody be cool. It would take 288 years for one person to spend one night in every hotel room in Las Vegas.
What?
That's how many hotel rooms are in Las Vegas. 288 years for one person to spend one night in every hotel room in Las Vegas. Do the math. By the way, 15 of the world's top 25 hotels are located in Las Vegas. 15 of the world's top 25.
105,120.
Yeah.
Which I think,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
MGM Grand, I think, is the largest.
It is. You nailed
in
it.
the
That's
world.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
There's
Largest
got, what,
hotel in the world.
4 something?
Is it 5?
Maybe 5,000 rooms? I don't know.
Maybe
something
it's
like
3.
that.
Maybe it's like 38. I can't.
So there's 105,000 rooms in Vegas.
Yeah.
Says Dubai is on the way to passing the Vegas hotel room inventory, supposedly.
Is there gambling in Dubai?
I don't think
I don't think so either.
I don't know.
What are you doing in Dubai? The hell is it
Dubai?
over there? Yeah, well, there you go. Okay.
So according to this, there's 105,000 rooms in Las Vegas, and one of them will have a drunk guy in it, and it's called Excalibur.
Oh, mine says 151,000.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, we just did the math. That wasn't a Google search. So then wait a minute. Then is the other number wrong then?
Well, I mean, that could be surrounding areas too. Maybe that number was just above.
Maybe
the
so.
strip.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Even so.
Yeah. Because technically, the downtown's not the strip, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I'm sure downtown's factored in.
Carson Wentz agrees to a 1-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's 31 years old. Number 2 overall pick in 2016. 8 NFL seasons, 153 touchdowns. I wouldn't have guessed he was that prolific, but he's played for 8 years, I guess.
Well, and he got 40, 50 of them in one season.
Yeah, that season that he was the front runner for MVP about halfway through the year.
Right. What a fraud.
Yeah. Good for him, though, right?
Yeah.
Carson Wentz made a ton of money, technically won a Super Bowl. Maybe we'll win a second one.
That is true, yeah.
Is he a one-time winner, or was he a backup somewhere else where he won? Because he was with the Rams, but that was last year, right? Not when they won the title. Wasn't he with the Rams last year?
Yeah, he was with the Rams last year.
Wonder what NFL player non-starter has the most Super Bowl wins.
It's a good question.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? Because there's always that journeyman backup quarterback who's like this backup quarterback or third quarterback on the roster who has won 9
Jim
Super Bowls.
Plunkett.
No kidding.
That's what the quick Google search says right here. It says he has 2 as a backup quarterback, but that's
not enough.
That can't be right.
Well, I'm not saying he's a backup, but that's almost like Robert Horry in the NBA, right? A starter, but not a Hall of Famer, but all he did was win titles. What do you have, 8?
Yeah, it's something like that.
It's something like 7 or 8.
And he was
And he was on the dream
at
team.
least a contributor.
No, Robert Horry was a very good player.
Yeah,
Big Shot Bob, right? He hit the big shots all the time. He was a very good player, but it's not like he was the star on the team that was winning. That would be different. He was always with Elijah Wan, because he was on those Rocket squads for sure. Then he was on the Lakers.
Rocket squad.
Anyway, what really matters, though, is this.
This is the biggest baller act of all time. After staying longer than his initial reservation, in which he had booked the entire top 2 floors of the Desert Inn, Howard Hughes was asked to leave by the owner. So he bought the son of a bitch for $13 million. He didn't want to leave. So he said, you know what? Screw you. I'll just buy this whole son of a bitch. And he did. Wasn't he naked in their place the whole time? That's part of the movie, right?
He's just butt naked, just balling out.
Yeah, man, I haven't seen The Aviator in a long time.
It's been a long time.
That's a great movie, though.
I've never seen it.
It's very good. It's another serious role for John C. Reilly, is it not?
Yeah, it is. You're right. Now
I
that you
didn't
say
realize
that.
he was in that movie.
But of course, Leo DiCaprio was.
Yeah, and Leo's spectacular.
Yeah, man. Gross.
Peak Leo.
Yeah, peak Leo.
I
had peak Leo once.
The Detroit Tigers, by the way, do lead the AL Central. The Tigers haven't lost yet. They are 4-0. They beat the White Sox 3 times. They beat the Mets once. Again, conversely, the White Sox are 0-4. So already we're starting to see separation in the AL Central. Twins are a game and a half behind the division-leading Detroit Tigers.
Just give up.
Give up. It's over. Tigers 4-0. What really matters, though, is this.
Here's something fascinating. You wonder, people who gather in Las Vegas to live there, if they like it because of the gambling. A lot of people say, no, I live in Vegas. I don't even go to the Strip.
Yep.
In 1980, admittedly a long time ago, a Las Vegas hospital had to suspend workers who were betting on patients and when they would die. In fact, one nurse...
Well, hang on. Why are you guys laughing?
One nurse was accused of murdering a patient because she wanted to win.
Oh, my God.
Well, look, all good gamblers have to find an edge.
Yeah, you're right. And listen, that's a movie I want to see. I want to see a series about that hospital.
It can't be a bad idea. Seinfeld just made a movie about Pop-Tarts.
That's what I'm saying.
Murder Hospital.
I want to know if they can make those likable characters.
I want to know if that nurse that murdered that guy just had a parlay going that, was one hit away.
Yeah, like how much did she have on
That's
it
a
that
great
made
point.
it worth it?
Here's your
she
$1.
sounds bad. It sounds bad.
It does sound bad.
But
it better be life-changing money, to your point, right? It can't be $100 bet, even in 1980. If you're willing to kill somebody, you better be making tens of thousands of dollars in the 80s.
Come on, Mortimer. $1?
Mortimer.
I think in the 80s, thousands, when you
80,000?
Thousands is probably good enough to kill somebody.
yeah.
Especially if they're already going to die eventually.
Noted. By the way, I got a list of people. You'll do it for...
Jeez. Remind Zach not to time travel. Get all murdery over there.
Yeah, look at him. You're all
The Wolves host Houston tonight at 7 o'clock. Again, OKC number 1 in the West. Denver a half game back. The Wolves 1 game back. Also tonight, Denver hosts San Antonio and Victor Wembanyama. And OKC is at Philly. So all three teams, the top 3 teams in the West playing tonight. Denver hosting San Antonio, OKC at Philly, Wolves hosting Houston. What really matters is this.
If you have not, and I would guess most of you have not, the movie, it was a series on Liberace. So good.
Is that the Matt Damon one?
Matt Damon, Michael Douglas. It's brilliantly done.
Never saw it.
It's wonderfully done.
Do you have to know anything about Liberace?
Not a thing.
Because I don't.
Dude, not a thing.
I just
It's
know who
brilliant.
he is, but I don't know anything about him.
Behind the candelabra.
It's so good, guys. It really is. I'm telling you, it's so good. You know nothing about him. You'll be fascinated that any of this happened. He basically, not even basically, his boyfriend, the Matt Damon character, he made him look like him. He paid for plastic surgery, so he looked like a young version of him. It's incredible.
So he wanted to date himself.
Yes. It's an incredible show. In the 1970s, Liberace played at the Hilton. He was the nightly superstar. He had a salary of $300,000 a week in the 1970s.
That's
Dear God.
massive.
Massive.
How is that even a thing?
I don't know. I don't know what that would work out to in this modern money-wise, but $300,000 a week is a lot now.
Yeah. Back then?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Man, I know it sounds ridiculous. That's so well done. You guys should watch that. It's so well done. I mean, Michael Douglas. Jeez Louise, he's great in that show. What was it, a film or a series? I can't remember. Damn it.
I believe it was a movie.
Okay, there you go.
It was a movie for TV. That's why you got
Okay, that's the problem.
On
Yeah, that's
HBO?
it.
I think it was an HBO
I think
movie.
so.
Yeah.
They're kind of the only ones that make movies for TV.
That are worth a damn at
right,
least.
yeah.
Right.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Twins off today. We're off yesterday. They're back at it today against the Drunken Scotties at 3:10. The home opener for the Minnesota Twins just 2 days away. So they're at the Scotties today and tomorrow, and then they're home Thursday against Cleveland. So home opener 2 days away. What really matters, though, is this.
And you guys, I'm going to give you 2 because this is the last one, and I have 2 good ones. The first one is about music legend Elvis Presley. He performed 837 consecutive sold-out shows at the Las Vegas Hilton. 837 consecutive sold-out shows. The king. But here's the one I want you guys to put in this pipe and smoke it. You rip on Excalibur all you want. Sure, there might be drunk guys in your room. Sure, there might be some things in your bed you don't want to contract. But the largest sum won on Las Vegas slots ever was at the Excalibur. After putting $100 in, a 25-year-old software engineer won $39 million
My God.
on a slot machine.
So, all right, let me ask the obvious follow-up question to all of you. Was it worth it? Like, would you stay at the Excalibur if you were guaranteed $39 million? Yes or no? Zach, you're hesitating.
Yeah.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
How long do I have to stay in this hypothetical? I know I'm the one asking. A week?
A month. A month. 39 million. I mean, that's a lot. You got to stay a month.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
It's a very smelly week or month.
So 39 divided by 7, so that'd be 5.57 million a day.
Yeah, you got to do it.
But you don't get any of it if you don't stay the whole month.
Come on now.
By the way, you got to take taxes out of that.
You got to take Texas out of it?
And you got to take out your medical bills out of it because you're
Zach-
going to have to get a lot of things secured.
Zach and Max might be all over this, but, Chris, our generation, we're not following everything Mr. Beast does,
No way.
right? But I think it's relatively recently, he bought a grocery store and then put a guy in the grocery store, and every day the guy lived in the grocery store for 24 hours, right? Couldn't leave. Every day he lived in the grocery store, Mr. Beast gave him $10,000. And you can live as long as you want. Months, as long as you stay there, I'm giving you 10 grand. The kicker was every day he stayed in the grocery store, Mr. Beast would go to the grocery store and the guy would basically have to supermarket sweep $10,000 of product out. So you had to be strategic about I can get rid of $10,000 worth of dog food. I'm not going to need to eat the dog food, right?
Right.
The produce is going to go bad. I can get rid of this on day one. You know what I mean? So you had to be strategic about what am I selling to him. And I think he lasted something like 45 or 50 days. So he made almost $500,000 and then he tapped out. How long would you last in a grocery store if you were making $10,000 a day, having to live off whatever's in the grocery store?
And was he ever allowed to leave the grocery store?
Oh, Mr. Beast would have been broke.
Agreed.
I never would have left.
That's what I kept thinking to myself, too, is, all right, the guy seems tired. He seems a little bit lonely and stuff, but still, $10,000 a day?
Right.
Keep going.
All you got to do is endure a couple months and you're set for life.
He built the guy built kind of a makeshift shower for himself in the warehouse section of the grocery store.
Yeah.
So he was showering. He had food. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I'm going longer than 2 months.
Can I invite girls over to the grocery store?
Nope.
Oh.
What?
Max will be out there for like 2 days.
Yeah, all right.
Well, that changes everything.
Yeah.
That's what the shower is for, I believe.
Okay.
Or
Zach,
the watermelons.
How long do you think you could go? 10 grand a day.
Trying fruit on. I'd probably do a couple months at least.
Wouldn't you try to go at least for $1 million?
I
would go 100 days.
I would
make $1
struggle
million.
with the supermarket sweep part though, because I think eventually you'd run out of. That's a lot of 10,000 in a grocery store. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But you got to make
3
it work.
cartons of eggs.
But I guess if you get enough, if you lower your diet down to a couple of bowls of cereal a day.
Yeah, I'm already doing that.
All right, Marty Gelder is here. The Power Trip Morning Show in the news after this on the Fan.
The Fan.